We give our girls an experience that they'll never have anywhere else in the world.
To be able to take the innovation and creativity of our young girls outside is extremely exciting.
The most crucial and important part of the trip was the people that we met with along the way.
We will be able to create things all the way down to its parts.
We went to China and I got to stay with a buddy family in Shanghai.
Being a GA student really helps you learn that everything that you do is going to impact the world in some way.
It will create a culture of innovation at GA.
When our faculty comes to us with a great idea of something that they know will enrich that classroom experience and bring the expertise of the girls to a new level, we say yes, and we figure out how to do that. And Initiatives for the Future really acts as that umbrella of how to support that incredible momentum that we feel around the faculty and the girls right now.
What we're attempting to do sort of across the school is blur the lines a little bit between disciplines and have students think more globally about what they're doing. What problems are they approaching? What are they looking at?
The innovation grants were an opportunity to kind of challenge faculty and support them in their design of creative new curriculum and programs for our students. We wanted the focus to be on student innovation, experiential learning, and creative problem solving. And the faculty response was incredible.
When Mark Feiner sent out an email with this proposal to come up with a creative and an innovative idea for the school, we jumped on it. The name of our grant is Pathways to Creativity, and literally it is pathways through the woods, pathways to our playground, and figuratively, it's given us pathways to a different kind of thinking. We really think a different way about how our children are learning and are using the environment and our natural resources.
We have an amazing garden where the children go out and plant seeds and watch them grow into sprouts and then vegetables that we actually use for cooking.
The girls themselves are starting to work on the path, and I think it's a pretty strong metaphor that they're taking charge and owning their own environment down at the Ridgeview campus.
One of the most exciting outgrowths of the Initiatives for the Future for me is the expedition classes that we're offering in the upper school.
Biology is not something that exists in a book. It's something that people touch, taste, and feel. And to give them the opportunity to touch, taste, and feel the natural world is, I think, one of the most important things we can do as educators.
If I'm a biology student and I know that at the end of the term, I'm going to be on a boat on the Amazon River, putting into practice the lessons I've learned about research, about scientific inquiry, I'm going to be that much more motivated in the classroom to learn those skills and to hone those skills.
I was one of the leaders walking across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, which was the bridge that happened on Bloody Sunday. And before we went on it, we sat down with Joanne Bland, she was the youngest person to walk in the march. And so after hearing her firsthand account of what it was like and how right when they got on top of the bridge, there was a sea of blue, she called it, of just policemen. Once you got to the crest of the bridge, when you were walking, you could really see that. And it was really a moment of, oh my gosh, I'm getting nervous walking up here and I know there's nothing coming. And so it was kind of cool to bring that to life.
I'm so grateful to GA to give this experience to the students and to give this experience to myself as a faculty member to share this with my students. I think everyone would say that they have been forever changed in some way, and they'll approach things differently in terms of civil rights and equality and understanding how our country has gotten to the point that it is, and for all of the good, the bad, and the ugly that's been.
Our program has been designed to welcome speakers and visitors on campus, sometimes for assemblies, sometimes for class, but also we've designed it as a way to help the girls travel and see cultures that they might not be exposed to otherwise. In order to really bridge the cultural differences and similarities, it has to be experienced personally, and I think that that's a wonderful thing that we're able to do for our students.
I was able to speak Mandarin with my buddy. Her name is Nicole. And her parents actually wouldn't let me speak English in the house because they really wanted me to learn Chinese.
My girl, her name was Winnie. She took an hour and a half to go home from school, and we had to take the underground every day.
It was great that we were able to bond even with such different cultures and backgrounds.
When those girls came here to Greenwich Academy and went to our classes, one of the fascinating things that they shared back with us was, well, yes, we understood the math because that's a universal language, but what we learned here at GA was how to think about the math. What they saw here was girls who knew how to think about it and apply it and make it relevant to their lives. And that was an impressive moment and precisely why we set up the kind of partnerships that we do.
I'm part of something at our school called CSBGL, which stands for the Center of Studies of Boys and Girls Lives.
We get together and talk about a social topic that is interesting to us.
My group studied Facebook. So we looked at the amount of time people spend on Facebook, what they really do on Facebook.
It's really about the students. It's really about their initiative and what they want to study and learn.
Every year, the participants in CSBGL are all invited to the University of Pennsylvania to share the results of their data.
GA was lucky enough to be one of the big presentations this year, so we had about a 25-minute presentation about everything we have done.
They were in front of about 150 of their peers and teachers, and they had to articulate how they'd come up with what they did to do the research, their findings, and how they were going to change things. And I think that the girls learned a little bit about public speaking and felt pretty good about themselves having done something so intimidating.
It's one thing to be in a comparative government class, for example, and be researching the different kinds of governments there are in this world. It's another thing entirely to be taking that class through the Global Online Academy and actually to be engaging with students who are living under different kinds of governments and talking with them about what that experience is like.
I got paired up with a girl from Japan, and we actually did this study of how eating breakfast affects how well you do in school and how you perform in sports. I don't think a lot of kids have the experience to go to school with kids from all over the world. I think it really did help open up my global perspective.
For me, what's really exciting is language and poetry and how we express ourselves. So while that's a part of our everyday English classes here, it's going to be a much more intense experience of reading poets who reflect local communities and places or different perspectives, and also just investigating identity and community through poetry.
GAINS is an acronym for Girls Advancing in STEM, and the initiative started here at Greenwich Academy. The GAINS Network was conceived as a way to utilize social media to bring girls and women together who are working and studying in STEM-related fields.
I went with the STEM group to an open heart surgery, and just to be able to see those things that many people don't see until college or even graduate school is just amazing.
You're hearing about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Where that is evolving now is to STEAM, literally putting the A, which stands for arts, into those STEM initiatives.
The sorts of things that happen in the arts in general are very much parallel to the things that happen in science, technology, engineering, and math. It's all about problem solving. It's all about asking big questions. It's all about trying things.
The initiative to build a design space, a design and building space on campus, is kind of born out of this desire to help our students of all ages, working in a variety of disciplines, understand what it takes to take an idea that they have and to bring that idea into the three-dimensional world.
We are looking at a three-dimensionally printed panda. I designed it earlier this year in our computer class. The 3D printer has a kind of plastic film that prints in a honeycomb manner.
We will be able to help our students create almost anything from scratch, which is insanely cool.
I think it's really great of GA to pick up on the interests that students have and be able to give us opportunities to actually work with those interests.
We have provided these wonderful opportunities for our faculty and for our girls, and boy, they are seizing them. But we absolutely have to hold ourselves accountable now to continue to support this momentum that the girls have established and seized on, because this is what will allow initiatives for the future to continue to grow.